Welcome and good morning. My name is Scott Kuttner. I'm with the City of Santa Ana's Neighborhood Initiatives Office, and you have joined our Sunshine Ordinance meeting talking about the new park at Standard and McFadden. We will start our meeting in approximately 30 seconds to allow attendees to join us. And so please stand by and we will start our meeting in approximately 30 seconds. Thank you. Once again, for those of you who are joining us, this is the Sunshine Ordinance meeting for the new park proposed in Santa Ana at McFadden and Standard. My name is Scott Kuttner. I'm with Santa Ana Neighborhood Initiatives. And joining me is Ron Ono, the Park Design Manager for the City of Santa Ana. And we'll be starting the presentation in approximately 30 seconds or so. We're just waiting for a few other attendees to join our meeting. Thank you. Okay, good morning. We're going to kick off our meeting at this point. Again, my name is Scott Kuttner. I'm with the City of Santa Ana. This is the Sunshine Ordinance meeting for the new park at McFadden and Standard in the City of Santa Ana. The Sunshine Ordinance requirement in Santa Ana is really important because it provides members of the community with an opportunity to learn about development projects very early on, to be able to ask questions and to participate in the public approval process. And so this is a standard requirement that we have for development projects in Santa Ana. And so this requirement also applies to park projects. And so that's the reason why we're having this meeting this morning. Our meeting is being supported by the Neighborhood Initiatives Office, and so I just want to thank our team for helping out with that on the back end. I want to remind attendees that your questions, your concerns are very, very important to us. And so we encourage you throughout our meeting this morning to ask questions and to let us know what your concerns are so that we're able to respond to you and kind of incorporate that into the program itself. There are a couple different ways for you to participate. And so on your control panel here on GoToMeeting, you're able to raise your hand. And that's one way that we'll know that you have a question. There's also a question box, and so you're able to type in questions on the dialog box as well. So those are two options that are available to you to bring to our attention that you have a question, and we intend to respond to your questions throughout the presentation. So there'll be multiple opportunities to ask questions and to get answers, but I can't stress enough how important it is for you to be able to leave our discussion this morning with your questions answered. In addition to that, I wanted to share that we do have a separate Spanish language phone-in line available, and so we're providing interpreting through this phone line as well. So our Spanish speakers are able to fully participate and ask their questions as well. And so we welcome that participation as we move forward. And so at this point, I would like to recognize and reintroduce Ron Ono, the Park Design Manager for the City of Santa Ana, who's going to walk us through this presentation associated with the McFadden Standard Park site.
Thank you, Scott. And everyone else is joining us in this webinar meeting for our feature park site. It's going to be on the northeast corner of Standard and McFadden. My name is Ron Ono. I'm in charge of park planning, park design, grant funding, park maintenance, and general maintenance areas in the city of Santa Ana. I will present to you the purpose of the meeting, a little history of it, a community outreach meetings that we've gone through, the conceptual plan that's been already done, the success in securing grant funding for this project, and then also identify the next steps and schedules that we need to go through to finalize this process. The purpose of this meeting really is to, like Scott indicated, complete the Sunshine Ordinance and to let you know that we need to do a zone change and a general plan amendment before we move forward with the development. Next slide. As I indicated earlier, we need to do a zone change to change it from multifamily residential, as an R3, to open space. And we also need to do a general plan amendment to change it from low density LR7 to open space. The slide that you see on the right highlights the 4 parcels to the west and 2 linear parcels to the east of the alley that we're doing the zone change on. And again, the purpose is to develop a new neighborhood park site. The site is 0.75 acres. On the flyer that was sent out to all of you, there was a mistake. It said half an acre, but it's actually 3/4 of an acre site that we'll be developing. Next slide. To give you a little history, the site, as most of you probably know, was originally 4 10-unit apartments. The site is now was vacated. There was interest by the Mariners Church and the developer to make it available as a private type open space. So Mariners Church and the developer and the owner went ahead and installed a synthetic turf soccer field and a community garden. And it's been operating like that for quite some time as a private, actually it's a public park, but on private property. The city purchased the site on December 27, 2017, and now we have since then started the design process for this public park site. We have secured the site with a construction fence, which we continually repair, but basically the site is completely secured and closed for public use unless it's a special occasion. Next slide. Here are the next 2 slides will be photos of the existing site. The one on the left is looking northwest along Standard and into the site, and the other one is looking northeast towards the alley. Next slide. The slide on the left is also a slide looking east towards McFadden. And the one on the right is a slide looking from the alley towards the park site. At this point, we can pause for any questions you may have on what has already been presented. Scott, are there any questions?
I'm checking. So we've got Erwin, Rocio, and Celica that I can view that are attending the meeting, and none of them appear to have any questions at this point, and their mics are all self-muted. So I think we're good to continue on with the presentation at this point, Ron.
Okay, let's move on to the next slide. As I indicated, once we acquired the site, we start looking for grant funding. Prop 68, statewide park development and community revitalization grant became available. So we went ahead and started the application process. We actually had 5 community outreach meetings to obtain ideas from the community and what they would like to see in this future park site. And then we developed a concept plan that we shared with the community. The meetings were held at various times and locations within the immediate area of the site. Next slide. like I said, the grant application was submitted to the state office. We were successful in receiving $3.7 million to develop this site. The grant period is from July 2018. I know it's already passed, but that's when they started the application process. And we've got to complete the project by December 2024. I will go through basically the concept plan that you see on the right of the slide. On the top left corner is go back to this. On the top left corner is a playground equipment area that's going to be covered with a shade screen. On the bottom left corner is an exercise area that will also be covered with a shade screen. And then immediately to the right is tables and chairs on a concrete pad for mothers and dads to watch their kids or wait for the next equipment that's available. Between that is a dry stream bed. Between that and the walkway is a dry stream bed that's actually going to collect water from the site. So there's no water that's actually going to be running down the street. It's anything that's irrigated in the site will be collected and kept on site. There's going to be a main walkway off the alley with handicap accessible parking immediately adjacent to the walk. We will also pave the alley, this portion of the alley, and also pave the east side of the alley for parking. Included in the project is also a grass area, a half a basketball court, and a small skate park area. And all what you see in brown, a walkway, is a DG path that can be used for jogging. The entire site will be lit with LED security lighting, and completely landscaped with automatic irrigation system and proper signage. The lights, by the way, we are keeping all our security lights on all night long for security reasons. So once this project is developed, the security lights will be kept on all night long from dawn to dusk.
Ron, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is Scott. I just wanted to remind our attendees that we have a copy of Ron Ono's presentation available as a handout. And so if you go to your control panel under handouts, you'll see that this presentation, including the site plan, is available for you to download and to share with your neighbors as well, and your neighborhood association and the constituents that you work with. And so, Ron, I'll pass it back to you at this point.
Okay, thank you for letting them know that it's available. The housekeeping updates that we need to do, as I indicated, is a zone change and a general plan amendment. And this is the purpose of this Sunshine Ordinance presentation today. Next page. We have already submitted the plans to Development Review Committee, which we call DRC. It's currently under review. I've received some comments, so we'll make some minor changes. It's scheduled, tentatively scheduled for the Planning Commission on September the 28th. It's scheduled for the City Council for October the 20th. Once that zone change has been approved and everything's a go, we will start hiring a consultant in the fall of 2020, and the consultant will start the design process. We anticipate that will be between spring and fall of 2021. The plans will be completed, plan checked, and scheduled for advertising and contract award fall of 21. And construction will probably take about a year, a little less than a year, from winter 2022 to fall of 2023. That's the general schedule we have for the project. Next slide, I'm open for any kind of questions you may have on the project itself. Staff will unmute you as you speak. And just a reminder, this is being recorded to record the proper response to your questions. So I'm open for any questions.
Hey, Ron, this is Scott, and at this time, I don't see any questions, actually. Oh, I do, actually. I'm going to unmute the mic for Celica Diaz, and she has a question that she'd like to share with you, Ron. So this is
Sure.
Celica Diaz from the Pacific Park Neighborhood Association.
Hi, Ron,
Hi,
and hello,
Silica.
everybody. It's not a question. It's mainly I just want to thank you all for helping the community to get this park done. It's it's something that the community really needs it, especially in that area. So it's not a question. It's mainly just to congratulate everybody for working together and putting life to that piece of land. It's gonna be awesome, and I just cannot wait how the kids are going to enjoy it. It's just gonna be magnificent.
Thank
So I
you.
want to thank you.
Well,
You
thank you.
mentioned something about, and then I do have a question. Then you mentioned something about the parking. So around the park and the outside, I see a little bit of lines. What does those lines mean? That's the sidewalk?
Let's go back to that slide so I can see what she's speaking. Oh, you went too far. One more. Next slide. No, I think you go in the wrong direction. One more.
Ron, can you clarify which one? Which slide?
The concept plan. The
The
concept
site
plan.
plan.
Oh,
Site
okay,
plan.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
There.
That one.
Which line are you speaking of?
Especially where it says standard and the street standard in McFadden, the lines that
Right.
are all around there. That's the sidewalk?
Yes, that's the sidewalk.
Okay. So, but the people will continue to have their parking spaces. None of that would be. Oh no, I can see the parking spaces that you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so the parking spaces next to the park, it will
Yes.
actually be reduced a little because we needed the space to enlarge the park side. But those spaces next to the park will and this is conceptual, remember? So
Yes.
I've identified 3 handicap parking stalls. It may be more, it may be less, but there, just counting really quickly, it looks like there'll be about 6 stalls on the adjacent to the park, and the rest of the stalls on the east side of the alley, it's
Yeah.
gonna be paved and striped and become available.
Okay. Would they have water fountains?
Yes, yeah, we'll have 2 drinking fountains, one by the exercise area and the other one by the basketball court.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I
Mhm.
appreciate everything you do for the community.
Thank you.
Celica. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to check with our colleagues, Alyssa and Margarita, to see if we have any calls that have come, any questions that have come in on the Spanish language line that we can pose to Ron Ono. I also wanted to let participants know that our city planner responsible for reviewing this project, Kathy Kang, is also participating in our session today. And she is available as well to respond to questions to the extent that there are any associated with that. Hi, Kathy. Great to see you. So I've heard from Alyssa and Margarita, and it appears that we don't have any questions this time on the Spanish language phone-in line. So we don't have any questions on that line. I'm checking the dialogue box for written questions that people have entered, and we don't have any questions there. And I'm double checking with the attendees part of it, and it doesn't appear that we have any questions at this point, any additional questions from people. I think that it would be fair to say that we've really covered the presentation, Ron Ono, that you had intended to share, which is the concept plan for the park, the public approval process, the upcoming milestones, things like that. One thing that we may want to do is to send out to the attendees, your contact information, like your email address or something, to the extent that somebody has a question, unless that's included in one of the final slides. Ron, is that included?
No, it's not, but I can let you know right now if it's okay verbally.
Yeah, it looks like we have a question that's come in from Erwin Cox. So let me open up that. And so Erwin is having some audio issues, but he said that from what he can read and what he can see, he really likes he likes the project from what he can read and from what he can see, but for some reason he's having some audio issues and he's not able to hear the presentation itself.
Oh.
So what I'd like to do is, I think what we should do for Erwin, he's not hearing this right now, but can we send Erwin, Margarita or Alyssa, can we send Erwin a chat or a text message or something and let him know that we received his message and you know, that Ron is available actually to the extent that he has any further questions about the project, and let him know that the presentation is available also in the handouts section. That'd be great if we could just let him know that. Erwin does have a question. He's saying, I was curious as to the schedule and the next steps. Is this project on target to be completed by the end of 2022?
No, it's, go back to the next step slide. It's going to be completed in 2023.
Okay.
I think the information you have might have been a typo. It's probably said fall of 2022. It's actually 2023. And with that, let me give you my contact information. My email address is rono@santa-ana.org. And since I'm working from home with the COVID-19 pandemic, my cell number, if you need to call me, is 714.
Hold on, Ron, 1 second. Let me
Sure.
just drop that in there.
I'm typing it out, Scott.
Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah, I sent your email address out to all the participants, Ron. So
Okay.
so they've got your email address.
You want my phone number? Oh, we're going to
Yeah,
communicate.
Yes.
yeah, Margarita's going to provide that.
Okay. My cell number is 714, area code 231-6116.
And Ron, we actually have another participant who just recently joined the meeting, Maria Ruvalcaba. And so, Maria, I'm going to unmute your mic, and you're self-muted right now, Maria, but we just wanted to check with you whether there was anything in particular about this park at McFadden Standard you have questions about since you've just joined the meeting.
Yeah, sorry I joined a little bit late for some reason. I thought it was at 10:30, not at 10. But maybe if you can just email me the presentation and I can review it, and if I have any questions, I can reach out.
Sure, that'd be fine. The presentation is available right now. If you go to the control panel under handouts,
Okay,
you'll see the PDF of the presentation that was made.
awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. And we've provided Ron Ono's email address as well so that you can contact him directly with any questions about the project. And we've kind of completed the formal part of the meeting, the presentation. We've covered most of the topics, and we're kind of at the final kind of question and answer part of the session. Also participating in our meeting is Kathy Kang, who is the city planner who's responsible for reviewing this project. And so you should see the video feed basically for Ron Ono, the City of Santa Ana Park Design Manager, and Kathy Kang, the city planner responsible for the project.
Perfect, thank you so much, Scott.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, if that's it, at this point, I want to thank everyone for joining the Zoom meeting and hope to see you all at the groundbreaking event.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ron, for the presentation. Again, we just want to encourage the attendees to the extent that they have any follow-up questions. We've provided Ron Ono's email address and his cell phone number so that you can contact him directly. To the extent that you need any assistance contacting any of our staff involved with this project, you can always contact Santa Ana Neighborhood Initiatives and we'll help put you in contact with them. Our office number is 714-667-2260. It appears that there may be an additional question, Ron, so let
All right.
me, okay, so we're just getting some comments from some of the participants. They're just thanking us. Erwin is thanking us basically, and Celica is also thanking us, indicating that she's looking forward to this really awesome project. And so I think we've responded to all the participants and the attendees' questions at this point, and we've provided them with your follow-up information. And I think we've got it covered. So thank you very much to everyone who's participated and made this meeting possible this morning. And with that, we are going to call it a wrap. Everybody enjoy their weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you.